Hello and welcome, everyone. It's great to have you with us here today for this talk in the TRE Talks and Session series. I have the pleasure today of having Jelena with us. Jelena has assisted in my TRE training, the online English training, and she's a psychologist who also works with children in a shelter, and I've been very impressed by her work. And she also did a presentation of her work with children in the training, and I've then invited her to do this talk for our community as well. So welcome, Jelena. Thank you very much for volunteering to do this talk. I will let you introduce more about yourself and your talk.
Thank you, Hans. Thank you for this opportunity also to give this talk. I'm really grateful to you and to Sarah, because both of you supported me a lot in my work. So I'm a psychologist by my education. Hello, everybody. And I'm working in a shelter, which is a government shelter here in Serbia. I'm from Serbia, and I'm working in Belgrade. So mostly the children are from 7 to 18 years old, except we do have well, just last year we had 11 children below 7 years old, and the youngest ones are 2 babies right now that we're having. So basically my experience with children starts from 4 and then above. I do have experience with children from before, because I was oriented towards developmental psychology during my studies. And I also did a lot of theater, like applied theater, interactive applied theater of the depressed. That were my beginnings. And then after I finished that one and my school and everything, I was just into how can I use whatever I can find just to have a results. Not just with the children, but also with adults when I work. But that led me on a different path, not looking just for psychology methods, but also for a little bit wider. So this theater, applied theater, put me on one path, and then there was a dance. And this all came together somehow through dance, because right now I'm on a teacher training for 5 rhythms. I also, through that 5 rhythms, heard about polyvagal theory and TRE. And I was just fortunate once when I heard about it, I just went and looked for TRE trauma release exercises in Serbia, and I found Dr. Sarah. And she just started maybe a year before it to hold the education here in Serbia. So I'm one of the first providers here in Serbia, and right now I'm a trainee for a trainer. Anyhow, in the meantime, I got hired in a shelter. So I will share my experience because I'm using it quite regularly. That means every single week, at least once a week, I will hold a theory session with a group of kids. And then I would quite often, when they're in my office, and if they're dysregulated, I would use a theory if it's appropriate. And also I use brain spotting, working with kids. And wherever there is available, sometimes I do the breathwork exercises in order to teach them how to, when they're activate, to come down and to deactivate. But I will talk about it a little bit more now when we start with presentation. Still, some people are joining. Do you want me to start, Hans, or we'll just wait for a few more minutes?
I think you just can start your presentation.
I just
start
okay.
Sharing the screen, right? We have quite many participants here now. It would be great if those who are present today would like to write a little bit in the chat about yourself, maybe about your interest in this topic, maybe where you are located as well. So for instance,
Yes.
I'm Hans from Norway. I'm a TRE trainer. I also work with parents, schools, and kindergartens and so on. So that would be great to know for about everyone.
Yes, I had the same idea. Okay, while our participants are writing down in the chat, I will just start. So, TRE and children, TRE with children in shelter by me. And you can see already here, this is our gym in our institution. So basically I work in a social system care in Serbia, and the shelter that I'm working is just a temporary shelter for children when they're taken out from the situation that is not for them. And that can be if they're children on the streets, or from a dysfunctional families, or from some kind of a violent families, or whatever reason there is. They come to us first. We are there to provide them safe environment, safe space, to stabilize them, to make them feel secure. We take care of their health, and to be, of course, dressed up and fed. And then they should stay with us up to 6 months the most, until the other parts of the system find the more permanent solution for them. So unfortunately, it's not really like this. Most of the time it is, but at the moment we do have quite a number of kids that are staying with us longer than these 6 months. And we have these below 7 years, but it is what it is. So this is a group of girls, and this is our gym. So we have a very good conditions here, and they love coming to the gym because they like exercising there, and it's fun. And I would use a lot of music and similar things. And actually, this is quite a big group. These were my beginnings. I think I was really enthusiastic. So I wouldn't be afraid to start with children, as long as you know how to calm them down. If they get too activated, you will be fine. That's the most important thing, to deactivate them, to calm their nervous system down. So this is what I'm going to talk about. It's about their age. So in regards of TRE, so with what age we can work, what's your ACE score is about the trauma, and then safety versus freedom is boundaries or liberating, raising up. This is basically about the attachment styles. So if there are some people among you who are psychologist or anything similar, trauma therapist or whatever, you will be very familiar with this. Then first, when I was making this one, I made children from shelter and children from schools. There are like a bit differences, but at the end of the day, they're all children. Same like we're all human. Then group or individual work for the children. What's different between us as adults and children when we work at TRE? So if we are releasing a trauma, are we learning a new skill regarding the children? Girls versus boys, polyvagal theory, and there are some kind of references at the end that I use for this one. So age 0 to 3 years old, perfectly fine to work. I don't have this experience personally because I don't have my children, but I do know some of mostly it's our colleagues, TRE providers, that would use their mothers who would use the TRE during birth, and then also with their babies. And here is a very nice YouTube video. Maybe some of you saw it, maybe no. I do encourage you to go and check it out. That's why it's here. It's one of our TRE provider and trainer that he shows the baby that he was tremoring together with the baby on his chest. When he's tremoring, baby is sleeping on him. And I do have also, I had a client, she was with me with the 6 years old boy. And once when she started tremoring, he said, "Oh, can I lay down on her?" I said, "Yes, of course." So he was laying down. He's a 6-year-old boy, but he was laying down her chest. And then at some moment he just said like, "Oh, can I do on my own?" Says, "Yes, of course you can do on your own." And he just laid down beside, start tremoring, and after 2 minutes he was done. But that's the thing. The kids, the children, they love doing it with us, and you don't need to push them, because if they see you doing it, they will follow you as well. Then there's I use these age categories from Linnea Gilea. She's our TRE trainer, and she has a huge experience with TRE and children, and it's a very good also to listen to her lecture when she holds a workshop. It's a really valuable the informations that she gives. So she separated, and I accepted this one. 3 to 6 years old, it is different. So here is the boy that is 6 years old, and they are two brothers actually, and he's now 6 years old. He was a little bit younger when he came to us. This one is not still 5, they're still with us. And yeah, the small ones, it's more it's much faster, it's more play and this kind of things, so you can really see the difference from 6 to 12 years old. So here I have 2 teenagers, but they're both teens actually, so I just made this as an example. With the teens you will start working basically more on a grown-up level, but also just supporting whatever is coming there. So we will see later. What's your? I put this one because I think it's important. I do work with children in shelter, which they're 100%. All of them do have a trauma, and that's understandable because they're not coming because they had a happy start. There was some issue because that's why they end up with us. So for sure there is a trauma. But it can happen also with the children from a regular population. And what's really specific for the children is that they have very young nervous system, and they can process trauma very fast. I will I have one research later on, Chrysalis research, where they were working exactly with the traumatized kids, and they did the pre-test and post-test, and it's very interesting the results that they had, how much TRE helped in processing trauma without even realizing, because TRE doesn't really have this cognitive part, right? We talk to our instinctive reflex, something that we have, our biology gave it to us. So this ACE score is also very interesting because this is used for a research of a connection between trauma in the childhood and then the health in the adulthood. And here are 10 types of childhood trauma. And of course, the trauma is not limited to this 10 that are presented here in ACE score. It's much larger, but even this shows us some information, and 5 of them were regarding personal trauma and 5 were related to other family members' trauma. So we do have a physical abuse, verbal, sexual, physical neglect, emotional neglect, and then a parent who's an alcoholic, a mother who's a victim of domestic violence, a family member in a jail, etc., right? And here are the results of that research. So 0 ACEs. So there is every single question, 10 questions. These 10 traumas is 1 point, and then more point. There is more actually connection to the illnesses, and you can see it's not the best picture, but you can see 4 or more ACEs. So it's this gray columns. You see, they're all the highest: stroke, chronic bronchitis, diabetes, hepatitis, heart disease, etc., etc. So it's very important that we start very young with processing the trauma, basically, and to developing this self-regulating system, because Deb Dana says this really nicely. She explains very nicely in the polyvagal theory. It's this thing that and like Stephen Porges says, we are a co-regulating races. So we always have, we have first auto-regulation, then we have a co-regulation, and then we have a self-regulation. But the co-regulation is before self-regulation. So we cannot, as adults, expect from children to self-regulate. We are, as adults, here to regulate them, to co-regulate them until they're able to make self-regulation. But if they don't have us as adults, if they don't have the children, the one that's taking care of them, instead of a co-regulation and connection, there will happen self-regulation, but as a survival mechanism, so as a defense. And the co-regulation need, the need for connection, will stay later in life. So that's why TRE is very, very convenient, very easy, and very good tool to work with children. So here is the one that I actually use, the attachment theory. Bowlby already in 1969 talked about it, and now it's a very familiar, different kind of attachment styles. So, and I always remember the research is from psychology, exactly for the children from the institution, and those are the children that I'm working with. We provide them healthcare, we provide them food, we provide them clothes, but the attachment, the care of us, it's limited to us. We are very limited. If we have too many children, we cannot do much. And there is so many research is showing this institutionalization syndrome of children, and not being able later on to live in regular daily life. Yeah. So the best, of course, is this authoritative attachment style, high love and warmth, but high also limits and boundaries. And this is also, we are always responsible for children. It's always our responsibility, because this is part of a co-regulation as well. And the boundaries are really how the children perceive it, is they feel safe. No matter how much they're trying to break, because sometimes, oh, they're just breaking the boundaries. Of course, because it's also their mechanism of defense. But it's up to us how we're going to do that. So, okay, so children from shelter, comparing to the children from a regular population, this is important. They have attachment issues, behavioral issues, health issues, existential issues. And this is serious. So I did put all this, it was touching, but I think it's important that we are aware. They will always have these issues, because it comes maybe from the attachment issue, and then it will become a behavioral issue, especially if when they're growing up. They all have a health issue, and it's mostly like a skin conditions, and we know now it's a psychosomatic, it's a too much stress, and it shows on the skin. And they really have existential issues, because they don't know where they're gonna go. But this is part of a problem of us. So many issues, but at the end of the day, when we work with them, they're still kids. They're still children. This is one our little excursion. And this is just a monument. They don't know who is this. But they were like, oh, let's take a picture there. Let's take a picture there. And this is Sarah and her dog. And you see, it's like, it's beautiful when you work with them, and then you see them like this. They go and they just want to take a picture, because they know they should take it in front of some kind of a monument to show that they've been there. That's nice. Okay. So group or individual work? This is up to us when it comes to theory. I think we should try and see how we are, what are our capacities. So we always have to be aware of our own capacities, and more we work, the capacity will expand. I do both, because if I would do only individual work, I wouldn't have time for all the children. Most of the time we have between 35 and 45 children, and I'm the only one who is doing this with them. And if I would do individually, I would really not be able to do anything else, and even theory I wouldn't be able. So I do both, and sometimes I'm sorry, because sometimes I just cannot do big group without the support, even with regulated children, is hard. It's with like an adult. No matter how strong we are or good at what we do, it's always good to have a support. My complete experience with this, I like bring my colleagues, I like to call them just to be there, because it's a huge help with children to do like that. What experience shows me? Smaller kids, less groups. Smaller kids, 2, 3, 4. If they're 4 years old, I needed support. I couldn't do 2, 4 years old, because both of them looking for individual attention. So I would need the support. So I would do separate with them, or a little bit different setting. The best one-on-one, but it's not necessary, because theory really have this connectiveness, and it's a very nice when they see each other, they're all tremoring, they feel much more calm and comfortable, and because they would share their experience. Oh, I got scared and I was shaking like this, but now they're not scared and they're still shaking, and they see someone else is shaking, so they feel good about it. It's not bad. So in a way, I'm teaching them it's okay, we just gonna release, you're gonna relax you. And then I would ask them also questions, how do you feel? And most of them, they would say, I do feel relaxed now, which is good. So bigger group support is needed. I would use any colleague, as long as they're in their ventral vagal state, it's fine. Teens are okay with both group and individual. What's important with teens is that mostly my experience is that I would do the same like them, and then they don't feel me more like I'm bossing them, and they are much more open than for work than if I'm just telling them what to do. So I would get involved, but I wouldn't do the tremor. I do all the exercises if it's necessary with them. I start subjects that are of their interest. And these mostly talk about being in love, of course. They're getting in love very easy. And so if it's that kind of a subject, oh, they get interested and they don't even notice. They start shaking while they're talking about this one. And you can find out a lot of things that they want to hide, but then they cannot. It just flows. Okay, comparing to adults, this is the biggest difference that you're gonna notice when you're gonna work with children. And I really like to encourage everyone to try, because I have some colleagues, they don't even want to try to work with children. It's like, oh, it's too dangerous. As long as we are regulated and we just give a little bit, we don't need to do much. I'm fortunate in a way that my children are staying with us for months. So I do have time to develop their also capacity. So what was like just a few seconds in the beginning can become a few minutes later on. But the timing, how much they tremor, is the biggest difference. Their process is knows to be fast. Like these 4 years old, it's literally in seconds. You can blink and then they're already finished. What's good with children, they just stop. They don't think, am I is it enough for me or not, like us adults. They just stop. So we just have to be aware not to interfere with this one, and not to be like, why you stop or something, not to scare them, just to be natural. Oh, you already finished, bravo, would you like to try another one? Usually they like to try several times. If they don't want, I don't push. Also, if you notice that some, because the severely traumatized children, we all have to be very aware not to do more than a few seconds. My experience shows few seconds and then very long stabilization. So if they have already dysregulated nervous system, TRE cannot really regulate them in the beginning. It takes a long time first to make them regulated in order to do some TRE. You can try, because the children that I had, because they were already tremor, they were shaking all the time. So I tried in this sense, oh, let's try to use this shake. And then I would give them to hold me or something like this, but it would last just a few seconds. And then still it takes a long time to calm them down. So with the severely traumatized children, is not the best to start with the TRA. Should be first a lot of grounding exercises, a lot of safety, a lot of develop of trust between you and them. So when you have time with them, then after it you can do, but very slowly, very carefully. With the most children, it's very easy to do. So process is much faster. They tremor easier than adults. What this means actually is most of the time they will not need those 7 basic exercises to warm up. It would be enough, maybe just a butterfly. Sometimes you don't even need it. Then you don't have to go all through all the exercises. You can do it, and you can do it in a fun way. And yoga for children have so many inspirational ideas. You know, you walk in the forest, how is it with the forest, or whatever is interesting in kids. Like with these two boys that are 4 years old, just a few days ago, I realized I can use Optimus Prime from Transformers because they like it. So I would just come, Optimus Prime, not happy with what the boy did. Is it boy ready to change the behavior? I would talk like a robot or something, like I'm just channeling the Optimus Prime. And they would look at me and they know that it's me, but they are still like, oh, okay, I change. So it's like much more faster than I would say, why are you doing this? Why you don't change or something? You know, the small things. So what this means is actually we need to find the language of the children. They understand. They all want to be good. It doesn't matter what they do. It's just their nervous system needs to be regulated, and we are responsible to do that for them. And then if we do it in this fun play way, oh, the possibilities are like, who knows what's possible. Everything is possible. Oh yes, with adults I'm more careful using touch than with children. Children like to touch. They like to hug. And when it comes to tremor, I don't touch them too much though, because there are quite a number of sexually abused children as well. So you never know. But when they already develop connection with you, and if they start tremoring, and then they like a little bit of attention, and there is another one tremoring beside them, they start like, oh, they're not tremoring. I would just a little bit touch their knees to get going, and they would just start. It's just a sense to say, oh, I'm here with you. It's unconscious for them. But then I would do that. And I always use, to see if they're grounded enough, I tell them, hold me. And then we would start pulling each other and like, oh, where are you? Where are you? They need to be on the floor. Sometimes they don't fly away and these kind of things. But I use it more than with adults. It's like there is a need for it. Oh, and so also what I use with these small ones is a tickling. Not too much, but they love it. So there is a tremor in tickling as well. And what I get the response from this like 7, 8, 9 years old, when they tremor, they start laughing. So their nervous system is calming down. But their feedback is like, oh, this is tickling me, you know? So there is a lot of fun working with children. It's beautiful. So I did put here infant versus adult brain. So you see, it says here myelination of axons still in process. And here is fully myelinated. You see, there's a big difference. So here is a lot of potential. If something happened, it's very fast also to correct that one. So polyvagal theory, that's what I've been actually somehow talking about it from the beginning. So this ventral vagal is that we are social, we're happy, we are relaxed, not much worry, very easy to communicate. Sympathetic, already something is happening. So my experience with the children from a shelter is there are quite a lot in sympathetic, and it's very easy for them to get activated. But also it's very easy for them to go to the dorsal, because coming from most of them from the violent environment where they were punished a lot, even when there is no punishment, the brain would turn off this one and they would just freeze. So being safe, feeling safe is very important. But it's also important for all of us and for all our children, not just for children from the shelter. This is something that I can see right now, that all the things that are happening around the world last several years influence all of us to go a little bit higher into sympathetic, but it cannot last for long. So we should use this one. So working with children is a beautiful way to start learning how slowly to empty this sympathetic response, fight or flight, and going back to ventral vagal, because from dorsal is harder to come. That's why it's important, if we do TRE, to learn how what our nervous system is doing in cases of overwhelming or dissociation or frozen state, and then what to do. And it's always slowly. So like with children, we think, oh, this is fast, but it's not, because if it's few seconds is enough. And if we will use half an hour, 45 minutes, or even 1 hour with children, and if it's going to be only few seconds to empty out whatever there is, you will have 1 hour a child that is just a child, wants to play, wants to draw, wants to do something playful or whatever. You don't have a child that is so upset that will upset all group. So it's a lot. And always slow, gently, you know. So we do have also these blended states. And the polyvagal theory is quite complex. But you see this gas pedal of the sympathetic state plus the safety in connection. So they're playful and dancing. I use a lot of dancing because I do also 5 rhythms and I like to dance, and I lose a lot of dancing with them. And they like to dance, and sometimes they're shy. So then I like to use a group because they will join. Or you have the break of the ventral vagal state plus the immobilization of the dorsal vagal state. So then they are able to read, to draw, and to engage in quiet activities. what I would do also, I would do a breathing exercises in a sense, like teaching their nervous system how to activate and deactivate. And I would use, I didn't prepare now, but there is like a ball that you can stretch. And this I can do even with the big group, like 30 kids, no problem. And I would say, oh, we all breathe. Somehow they follow this one. And we take all slowly, and then slowly. And you can hold their attention very long with this kind of exercise. But it's good to know, because when they get too much activated, you have also a tool how to deactivate them. And you just tell them, remember the breathing, and they will start calming down. It's a very good help. So that research was really interesting that I mentioned in the beginning, the Chrysalis research, because when it comes to processing trauma, these young nervous systems process very fast. And when it's processed, it's okay. It can go on and be just a child with all the characteristics that he or she has. But in the same way, if we teach them TRE, we also give them a skill that they will be able to use. They will make a connection in some time. Oh, I feel much more calmer when I do TRE, or I sleep better when I do TRE, or they will not call it like this, but they will make a connection, and they will be able to use it later on in life. At least this is the idea, but there are positive examples of exactly this, making connection. The theory really helps them in everyday life, and they keep using it. So it's both things. You process trauma, but through tremor, they release it, but they also learn something that can be helpful for our life. Same like with us. So this is a research, and this is very important research, because there are not many researches, theory and children. And it's same like here. I would love to do the research, but is like I cannot really do the research, because I would have to do theory much more often, and in a much more structured way in order to make pre-test and after-test. And I'm just employee there, basically. So it's hard to get funds for something like this. But anyhow, it's still okay. I'm using it, so it means a lot still. So I can say there are a lot of benefits from my personal experience, but this also helps. You see how much they did. This was 6 or 8 weeks long research, and these 2 times per week, and these are the results. You see, well-being, mental, emotional, handling stress, enjoying life, quality of life. So no change, missing, worsened, very small, and then it was 150 students. So this is very, very important to know. Girls versus boys. So I do have boys here, and you see this is my support. It's a girl that is on praxis with us. And here is the other 4-year-old boy, also severely traumatized, with girls. So I think he feels really safe with the girls. Most of the time he spends with them. It's okay. I do both. But I start connecting them in couples. Like I would do girl and the boy, because this I can follow. I can have I can follow. If it's a bigger group, I don't even think 2 of us would be able to follow, because these teenagers here and the teenagers from this group, we have to take care of both of them. And there is a lot of this so-called in love happening. So it doesn't have to be all good. Sometimes it's not good. Yeah, on your own, one girl, one boy is a good solution. Okay, this is the group from the beginning. You see, big group. But here I was doing the exercises with them. You see, they all follow. It's very nice to see this one. Then I use a circle, and because they're all fighting in between each other, so I use this opportunity. Oh, we can hold each other for a hand. Let's support each other. Do we need some help? Let's help also somebody. So it's in a way also to make them more connected. Okay, here is with boys. And now I will just play some clips. These are younger boys. You see this 5. Okay, some of them are looking young, but they just have a growth hormone issues. You see, he's tremoring just normal like anybody else. It's very easy. Okay. Okay, here is a girl. She always says, oh, okay, these are both with lips. You see, she's using a treadmill. She's laying down on a treadmill. And she's the one, oh, this is tickling me. And she's so cute when she's laughing. Okay. Very small tremor, you can see. It's very easy for children to tremor. Okay. Oh, here are 2 teenagers. You see, I use this, okay, for them to connect. They're 2 teenagers, and both girls are either the best friends, either the worst enemies, depending on day by day. Okay, this was fun. So this is in my office. I would do anywhere. It doesn't have to be. You don't need much of a space. You don't need some special. Okay. Okay. Here, this is another group. This is the newest one. So this is our basically big room where we all get together and do the workshops with children. I also use the opportunity for them to go back to back to feel the connection safety. Here we use a I think it's a Justin Timberlake or something. Sometimes it's hard to find what they like because they're so different ages. But you try and you see. So this one is also fun. Yeah, it's Justin. So this is basically warm up before we did the session. It's a lot of fun, yes. Okay. Oh, here are the girls. I give them a lot of verbal support. I said to them, shake your hips. Well, when it comes to dancing, actually, I would do with them. I was holding this video and shooting, but I was dancing because they need a little bit of support to know this is also okay. Okay, here are the references. So Dr. Melanie Salmon did a lot of work before she started on her own, and she did a lot of researches. So this is really helpful. In Cape Town, it was a huge project, 120 children of, well, same like my children, like from shelters. Then another project of Dr. Melanie Salmon. Linnea Gillan, she has a great workshop as well online, but she works with, she used to work with children in schools. So it's also a different kind of experience. I did also in schools with teenagers when I was in the beginning with the TRE. But I think I had really children who were like they were motivated. So it was, I don't know, for me it was really easy, but I don't know, maybe because my previous experience, because the comments later on were, oh, these kids are actually really great. And then here are these YouTube videos with the children. There is this one with baby and our TRE provider. One is when Dr. David Bercelli holding a session online, help of professor, and the last slide. So that's the last workshop that I did. You see, I use a Zen music as well, meditation music. It's really calming the nervous system. They don't even notice, but it's calming them down. And then we did the drawing workshop after the tremoring, and they made the smileys. I said that I will take a picture of them and they can put the smileys on the face, and every one of them did a different smiley. And it was me. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. So this is basically to say hi to all of you. Yeah. And that's it from the presentation. So if you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Hi, my name is Esti. I really appreciated this presentation. It was awesome. And the kids are so lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you, Esti. Thank you. I'm
Wow.
very passionate about doing this work. It's amazing because at the end of the day, they become our teachers. It's really like that. Thank you, Esti.
Wow. Yeah, I see. I'm now into like trying to bring it into to work with women in pregnancy and having the baby and delivery. I started and I'm already fascinated to see the results. Like the babies are much calmer, the mothers are calmer, the recovery is calmer. Just now I have to work on how to get my clients in, how to get the word out, and that takes time and effort and energy.
Oh, great. That's it. That's amazing. Bravo. Just keep on doing it. It will come from word of mouth. Yeah, people, when they're happy, they share it.
Else, do you have any questions or experiences you would like to share? Some of you might already be working with kids or families. I do work with some kids myself, but then often together with the parents. We both have the kids and the parents at the same time. And it really seems to help with kids with anxiety or freeze. So in Norway, we have a situation with quite a few kids have what we call they sort of are too anxious to go to school, and so on. And this can really help with that in some cases. Andrew, please go ahead.
Oh, yes, hello. Thank you so much. It's really great. I'm really just beginning to look at supporting children. So I've been a TRE facilitator for about 12 months. I just wonder if you could talk more about exploring with the children how to activate and deactivate their nervous systems and how to interact, maybe ground them first, before they get into the TRE stuff. So do you have some examples or some exercises on how to activate and deactivate the nervous systems, and where would you do that, and just a bit more about why that's important? Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's very important to ground them. That's exactly part of deactivation, because if you activate them too much, you will have a half crazy kids all day, and if one too much activated child, he can activate all the children. And then because we have so many different ages, and then right now it's very popular among teenagers to cut themselves. So it can be dangerous if we activate them too much and we don't know how to deactivate them. And it's really exhausting to work with it just because we didn't do the grounding work, like you said, Andrew. And you can do that in many ways. I love doing they really follow me somehow with this breath work, and I would just do the deep breathing, and I will ask them, can we hold? So I make it like a play. We take it slow, 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 and I will count, who is the slowest one? Like they like to compete, and then even slower here. So who is the slowest one is the winner. They like it. Then you can also use like there is how you call the one, if they bring the like I saw this with the Linnea wood chopper. Yeah, it's a wood chopper. So if they go, it's a wood chopper, they would chop. So it's very easy to activate. But then you tell them, oh, you can be a tree. They come, okay, tree, your legs are like the legs of the wood, the roots. And then here are the branches, your hands. And then here are the leaves. You know, and then you do everything in a slow matter, slow, slow, slow. I always use also the simple grounding as tapping yourself. I say, oh, let's tap ourselves. Oh, very easy. You know, with the smallest one, they would ground themselves. It's so natural for them. They would do like this, and then I would also tell them, okay, let's touch ourselves. They don't know what I'm doing, but they are following. And once with that, or let's go to the ground, to the ground, to the ground. And what else? Oh, yes. I like also give them, okay, hold me. And then I'm joking with them, do you have any strength left in your, and then we would shake each other. So everything is possible. Everything what brings them here. And then I also ask them, oh, can you count me how many red pictures or red colors can you find around? So whatever is gonna orient them around, they're here. Once when you get involved, the cognitive part, they're more here. And then they start talking much easier, and then you follow from there. I hope this helps you.
Heidi Maria has her hand up.
Hello, thank you. And my question would be, when would you recommend a child to do TRE with parents or without?
I do, if I have parents, I advise, I always suggest they do together. You can do separate, no problem, but it's a really good connection for a parent and a child. And if you have a child that you still didn't develop trust with them, it takes time. You will talk to the parent, because you know the kid will follow. It's just like that. Even as grown-ups, it's always like that. And how you show, they will show the same.
Okay.
So if they see the mother tremoring, oh, they will start, no problem. But if mother resists, they will resist if they don't have a connection with you. If you're working with the teenagers on your own, then you work a theory, you would just say, what I do with teenagers, I would notice if they're really destabilized. My last, this is a very, well, it's interesting. She's 13 years old, but the culture is different. She already had husband, and she came because she, well, what to do? He was harassing her or whatever. So she was crying. She missed her family and everything, and she's crying. I say, okay, can we just try something? It's so I always use this voice because we are talking to the reptilian part of the brain, the instinctual one. So we have to be aware of it. So it has to be gentle. It has to be, you find your way. You see, I just change it automatically. I say, what do you think if we try to shake a little bit? This really helps to calm you down. Would you like to try? But I'm all very supportive. I'm giving her offered, like she has a choice, but in the same way, I'm really supporting that we're gonna do it, and we do it. And then you see when it starts, when the emotional things slow down, calm down, then she start talking, she start being more open, more happy, and these things. So there is no parent. You will, this is the thing, when you do the therapy with children and parents, and then parents bring you the children, because this happens to me, they complain on their own children that they're aggressive, they're this, they're that, and we cannot tell them, but it's you. We also have to support those parents, but we have to be smart. Yeah. I don't know if this helps you.
Yeah, there's another aspect to it. If you have children from, let's say, safe and normal families, and my question was in the direction of sometimes moms can be very bossy.
Yes, that's also a question of our integrity. We have to work on ourselves as well. We do have a responsibility when we have our clients, and more we are, this is my personal opinion, more we are grounded in ourselves, more we are confident with our experience, more I know, if I'm sure about it, mom can be bossy as much as she wants. I'm the one that is responsible. I know the path. She doesn't. She wouldn't be with me if she knows. But with respect. So we are always have to be smart about these kind of things. I understand you, Heidemarie. This is a question, but this is a question for us. What perspective do we use? What's our goal? Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
There are two more questions.
Okay.
Let's do Rikke and Stephanie, and then we have to
Okay.
move to the end. Rikke, please.
I was just wondering regarding deactivation, if humming and vocalization would be effective.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes. We sing. Sometimes we do these strange things. The sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that all helps. You try also. Yeah. Whatever comes to you, just try, and then you will see. You cannot make mistakes in these kind of things much. Thank you, Rikke. Stephanie?
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. It's really fascinating. I'm particularly interested in, you might have mentioned it a little bit, because I was just picking my son to school just now. I'm interested more about the children's nervous system, whether there's any physical symptoms, health symptoms from the trauma and stress, and the responses, particularly after TRE. For me, I've been trying to work with my son, and it's been going through some stressful times here at home. And he has lots of different issues like stomach pain, fatigue, recently headache. It's been going on for a while now. I've been trying to do TRE with him. His nervous system is very activated, and I tried recently, maybe it's because of fatigue, it's calm him down. So it slowed him down so much. A shake was like not much going on, but I just want to see, what I need to understand about his nervous system, and really the physical symptoms you've come across and the responses after TRE. Thanks.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for that sharing. You can also look up for some kind of a support from some who already have the experience. You don't have to do it on your own. Because you do TRE, we do with our children, but we cannot really separate when there is an issue for them. If they have an issue, then we need also support.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Super, great. So I would like to thank everyone for coming to this talk with Jelena, and also to thank you, Jelena, for giving the talk. It was great to hear it again. I've heard you talk about this before. That's why I wanted to invite you to this talk as well. We have a session that is meant to start in 15 minutes. If anyone would like to do a TRE session with Jelena, where she will demonstrate some more things she does with the kids, a bit more maybe like a playful TRE session, you are invited to join us. Then you need to sign up on our page. I will post a link in the chat here. So possible to join there. And then I would like to thank everyone again for coming. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you again in a future talk. Bye-bye.
Bye.